Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and this is the Rant. And today we're going to be ranting about EPK. What is EPK? It's an electronic press kit for you, for me, for everything that we do. Let's urge, baby. Why, hello there. My name is Jade, and this is the Rant. And I hope you're doing okay. And I can't do the close-up because I don't have certain windows open. Had a bit of a panic just then because shit wasn't working, but we're all working now. Let me bring up this so we're all good. I can do this thing. Just give me a second, folks. Chaos ensued. We good? Everything's locked. Everything locked in? Okay, we got heaps of buttons that don't work. That is what it is. We'll fix that up later. Windows update. Fuck yourself. Thank you for ruining everything on my desk. Awesome stuff. Welcome to the show. It's the start of a brand new week, and we got lots of cool stuff coming up, including today's episode, maybe, kind of, sort of. If this interests you, you tell me. If you want to see more kind of content like this, then you let me know by hitting the like down in the description down below and do all that stuff. Let's say hello to folks, and then we'll dive in and kind of get this show on the road. Jamie Lynn, hello. Thomas Christ, g'day. Ali, Russ, Pausing Guitars, Brad Example, Robbie Stingle, hello. What's happening, Robbie? And Thomas is smashing links there. Thank you, Thomas, for doing all that stuff there. Looking forward to EPK chat. Hello, Phil Tone Audio. Good to see you as well. So let's get into it. This is it's kind of a tutorial and kind of not a tutorial and a rant at the same time. So you take it as you will. Don't expect a full tutorial. But if you want me to do this, we will do it at some other stage. Like, I'm more than happy to do this kind of stuff. It's just if people want to view it or not. That is up to you. Let's get rid of that comment there. Massive weekend we just had, didn't we, everybody, with the album launch of the two charity albums that we all came together to create. I can bring them up for you right here. So, yeah, this Thursday and Friday, we dropped 3 albums from this community with, I can't remember the stats, but it's 64 tracks over 3 albums. So many artists, it's ridiculous, and all the money that we raise go to Childhood Cancer Canada. So this is our second attempt at doing this thing of bringing musicians together from our broader YouTube kind of community to create songs, and all the money goes to the last time we did it for the UK Cancer Trust, and this is our Canadian one we've just released, and later this year we're going to be, well, soon we're going to be asking for submissions for the US version that will come out later this year, and then next year we're doing the Australian one. Heaps good, heaps of great artists. If you haven't seen it, Thomas is banging a link there. If you want to go and purchase it, goes to a great cause, and there's so much great music. We did 2 episodes here on the channel, 2 3.5-hour episodes playing every song from all the albums, and it was so good to see everybody come along and enjoy themselves and have such a great time celebrating fantastic music, because that's what we're here to do after all, aren't we? Absolutely. All right, an EPK. So this question came up from my friend Russ, and I was like, he said, what's an EPK? I go, what do you mean, what's an EPK? He goes, well, I've just been asked for an EPK. And I said, it's an electronic press kit. And an electronic press kit can be as hard to create, complex as you want it to be. But in saying that, simple is always the best. Start simple. Don't overcomplicate things, yeah? You've already got enough going on in your mind. Trying to have the balls or the courage or the, I don't know, get over that hump to write about yourself, because the first thing about an electronic press kit that's really hard for heaps of people, get a crow and balls to you, Mix Club. Big hairy ones all over you. E-Urban, hello too, welcome. So one of the hardest things to get around with an EPK is talking about yourself. Now, whoa, hang on a minute. And I hear you say, well, You should talk about yourself all the time. Aren't you a musician? Aren't you a big-headed musician, a wanker who just can't stop telling everybody about your music wherever you go? Well, no, not everybody's like that. In fact, some of the biggest stars in the world are shy as fuck and just want people to leave them alone. Lady Gaga spends most of her time on a couch in tracksuit pants eating crisps. Potato chips. For those of you who don't know what chips are. All right, and look, Crow says it too. I hate freaking talking about myself. It's one of the biggest hurdles that artists have, right? But we are in the day and age now of technology that can take all that away from you, and you don't have to do it. You can let things like ChatGPT do that for you. And I know AI, it's the boogeyman AI, it's coming to get you. AI has some incredible uses for this kind of stuff, yeah? It can search for you. The stuff that's already on the internet. You can put stuff in there that's really half-assed and not really that good, and it can generate really good blurbs and all this stuff for you. It's your friend in this case. Now, when it comes to things like, I don't know, creating music and that, sure, we're covered. We're filled with slop at the moment, absolute slop everywhere you go, from art to music, and it's seemingly getting better and better. And sure, I use AI stuff for some of my thumbnails, shows like this, because it's just a fun rant, right? It doesn't need to be a serious one. But for like any kind of app reviews, I've got my real picture up there, yeah? So you can use stuff, AI and all this stuff in ways that it's just not everything, yeah? Don't fall into the trap of letting it do everything for you. But yeah, the first hurdle is self-promo. And I know a lot of people are feeling this. Field tone, audio, pitching yourself is one of the worst parts of being a musician. It's always so uncomfortable. It is. It's like being in an elevator and 2 people farted out of 10. There's going to be accusations fly. There probably won't be, because as people, we sit there and just go, I'll just shut up. Even though this stinks. I don't know who it was who did it, but I wish I could say something. Because that's the thing, yeah? Because look at the world. Look at what's going on in the world at the moment. We all know that Donald Trump's he's kind of a drongo. But nobody wants to say anything. We all just sit there and go, is this going to stop soon? Right? That's the thing. Urban, I know who farts in the elevator. It's you. Always. I know it's you. Hugh Caldwell has joined us. Prince Prodigal. Welcome. Who else have I missed? Kev G-May. G-May's in the house. What's going on, G-May? Watched you yesterday. Jenny Jolivet, hello. Hello. I'm trying to do the hellos and keep up and keep my train of thought. You guys know how bad I am with train of thought. It's terrible. I thought EPKs were for gigging bands. No, not necessarily. EPKs are for anything, right? You need to have some kind of bio. This is a press kit, electronic press kit. This is handy for so many things, for trying to get radio airplay, for trying to get gigs, for trying to get a manager, for trying to get radio airplay. There's so many things this is handy to have, and to create a template for yourself and then just update it willy-nilly as things change. Because guess what? Things are going to change, and this is one of the hardest things. You finally get to the point of putting together an EPK and you're like, all right, I've got my bio, I'm willing to write about myself, I've got my photos, you put it all together, you finish it up, you print it off you save it as a PDF, it's got all your links and everything, and then you go, that's done. It's not, because the world changes. Things change very quickly, as you know. Yesterday was a great example of that. Things change very quickly. And you're going to have to update it with the way things change. So you got to look at this thing ahead of not just, I'm making this thing that's finished and ready to go. This is a thing that should be evolving, because you're evolving every day, right? It's a breathing, living, tangible thing that can be changed. So you got to keep that in mind when you're starting to build this thing, that it's going to change and it's got to grow around with you. And there is Princess LDG, who's back on the scene. She's got her crown and everybody bow down at her feet and wash them now. Label support, so much stuff that an EPK is handy for. Sean Chandler, g'day. We might close with the Chandler's new song today. What do you think about that, guys? I think so. They dropped a brand new track yesterday. It's a stunner. Stunning. as Gordon Ramsay would say. And he says it quite a lot, apparently.
Stunning. Absolutely stunning.
See?
Stunning. 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 Stunning.
All right, I went on a tangent there. We haven't done the stunning joke for a while. It's been a couple of years, isn't it? Damn, I've lost my train of thought. Gary Hubbs is in the house as well. Hugh Caldwell wants fish and chips. And Denise, the legend, Denise. Can I just break away for a second here? This amazing lady here, Denise, she's been in our chat for a little while here, hanging out. We're going to have her on the show soon and do an interview. Go to her page, go and check it out. She does origami with her feet. She's got cerebral palsy and she makes origami with her feet. And yesterday she dropped her first song ever. Took her 6 months to write. She did it with her feet. And it's awesome. She's so inspiring to me, right? So inspiring. You've got no excuse. Made a fucking song with her feet, right? You've got no excuse. Anyway, tangent over. So EPKs, very, very important, and they should be a thing that moves with you. Now, I've got some really shitty examples I can throw up here of an EPK, and we're going to be focusing, of course, because iOS, that's what we use here on the channel. So we are going to use this Pages. So here is Pages sitting over here. This is kind of, if you don't know what Pages is, it's free. It comes with your iPad. If it's not installed on your iPad or your iPhone, go to the App Store because it's sitting right there for you to go and grab. You do a search, come up here, type Pages, and you're going to see the first hit should be, there it is, and you can download it from the App Store for absolutely free. Okay, it is the equivalent of what Word is, but in, Apple's typical Apple way, where they hide all the things so you can't find all the buttons to do things. Because Apple like clean surfaces, where Microsoft just like to throw everything at the wall and go, there it all is. Apple just make your search. So that is Pages. It's absolutely free to download. And as you can see, just by templates, you can go butt wild. There's a whole lot of templates that come with it. You can start with a blank page and all this kind of stuff. This is pretty powerful stuff, but I've never done a deep dive on Pages. So if this is something you'd like me to really do, you let me know and we'll do a deep dive into Pages because I think it gets overlooked a lot. In fact, it does get overlooked. I went looking for videos on Pages, on people's tutorials on Pages, and me, there were so many of them. They were like 50 minutes long and said nothing. They basically just got to like opening the app pretty much. So not very deep. Okay, so let's get into Pages and show you it. So Pages is available not only on your iPad and your iPhone, you can get it on your Mac as well. So it's universal. You create something in Pages and guess what? It gets saved to the cloud if you choose so you can go and open it up wherever you are, on your phone, on your Mac, on your iPad. If you've got multiple iPads, it's going to be waiting there. Boom, here is Pages. When you open it up for the first time, you're going to get this. This is a kind of recent thing they've done with iOS updates, this start writing. So you can just go, start writing, click this. It's going to open a brand new blank page and you are ready to go and there's nothing more you need to worry about. Down here, though, we've got our little sidebar, which you've probably been accustomed with the Files app and pretty much everything here. So you get your little sidebar you can click off. You can swipe down again, pull this down, and you get back to your little Pages section there. You can choose a template. There's a whole heap of templates to choose from. That's up to you if you'd like to do that. You want to browse, you can browse. You've got a search bar. You can create folders, all this kind of stuff. You can see in here my stuff here. We've got like Dread Circus Originals, where I've got all my lyrics for my own songs, any covers that I may have done, lyrics for covers. So you can organize all this stuff pretty much how you wish. Yeah, that's completely up to you. I've even got things in here like my invoices and stuff, or if I'm getting paid or anything like that. So you've got options here to do stuff. Let's just back out and get back to our top page. I want to show you something here because you can see I've got like invoices in here. This was something I made back in 2018. It's not that good, right? But at the time, it was perfect for what I was needing it for. I needed a Dread Circus press release and very simple stuff, yeah? So just intro, some photos, album cover, stuff about Gladys Worthington, some links to the songs of Gladys Worthington, the story about how I started recording this album on my iPad, the first single that dropped, and just a whole bunch of information about all the stuff that I do. Links here, so you can click on these. It'll take you to videos. A little bit long in the tooth, this thing, but you can see the idea. It doesn't have to be super fancy. What is always the most important thing about an EPK is the information, and neat and clean, easy to read, not complicated. People don't want to sit there. And you know what? People don't want to read your whole fucking life story. They don't care. They don't have the time. They need a summary. And this is where ChatGPT comes in so well to do this kind of stuff, because you can summarize these huge chunks of information. For example, if I jump over here and we'll make sure, all right, we're good. If I jump over here, create a brand new page, jump over to my website, wherever that is. Here it is. My website's packed full of stuff. It's way too much. And I'm currently working with ChatGPT to rebuild my website. But here in my manifesto, I've got kind of all these sections here with information, goes through the beginning and my bands and images and all this kind of stuff, right? So it bounces through it. There's a lot of information here. And it's very easy for me to take all this information on this page and put this into ChatGPT and condense it down to a much more palatable thing, to one paragraph. You can do it. Now, I do this all the time with interviews. When I interview somebody, I ask them to send me a bio of themselves. And everybody struggles with it, right? So if you're struggling with it, guess what? You're not alone. We're all in the exact same place. Everyone's there, right? Even the biggest artists still deal with this shit. What do I write about myself? And most of the time, people overcompensate. They do. For the most part, because they don't know, and they just throw everything at the wall. And this is where things like ChatGPT or Apple Intelligence, and so intelligent, you can use that to take all that. I had somebody sent me a bio for an interview, and it was like 3 paragraphs. And within a click, boom, it was condensed into like one paragraph, 5-6 sentences, and it summed up everything perfectly. But if you throw everything at it and don't summarize it, you're going to end up with a huge page of stuff that nobody's going to get through. It's like in the old days too. People with job applications, they create their resumes. And I remember being told that, oh yeah, you just should make a whole big resume full of like 4 pages with all your jobs. And I was like, why am I not getting any fucking jobs? There's got to be a reason for this. It can't be my experience. It's really good. Oh, that's why. I've written my entire story to these people and they don't give a fuck. As soon as I condensed everything down to 1 page, which had references, quickly this, that, people get to the point, and nobody wants to be hiring people. They don't have time. They've got other things to do. They want it quick and simple. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind of shortening shit down. So to get into this today, I was going to try and make a bio of my own shit, but no, I've done that many times. So here's a good tip. Try this. If you're having trouble creating your own EPK, make one about someone else, someone you know. Gary Hubs. Because things like ChatGPT can go out for you and find the information because it's all on the internet, right? And someone like Gary Hubs updates all of his stuff frequently. His Bandcamp has got all the information added. I'm sure everything's like dotted and ticked and perfectly in there. Any web searches, YouTube channels got all of his info in there. And you can specifically ask things like ChatGPT to go, hey, go and find this information on specifically YouTube Bandcamp of this artist. Help him out. Give him a link. You can add this stuff in. It'll go and find all this information and then put it all together for you. So go and make a EPK for someone else. And you'll find it'll help you take the pressure off making one for yourself, because that is the biggest hurdle. 100%. That's it. All right. So in saying that, let's bounce over to ChatGPT for a little bit. And let's see what ChatGPT says about creating an EPK. So all I wrote was, I'm using Pages for iPad to make an EPK. Can you give me some points on what I need and some ideas? for a great layout for my band Dread Circus. Absolutely, she says. Dread Circus in pages, Must have bullet points, of course, a band overview. See that first word? Bang. Brief. Brief. It's the first word. Brief, compelling band intro. Who you are and what you sound like and what makes you different. Those 3 points are enough. Even 2 of them are enough. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it and don't go crazy. Mention things like genres, origin, influences. Think band influences. And you don't need a lot of them. You don't need to list Björk, Counting Crows, Slayer, Metallica. Who else? I'll just go, oh no, I've run out of, I can't think of any. I'll just go through my music, my Apple Music and see all the music I listen to. Don't do that. It's crazy. Keep it short. Succinct. Mention, we did that. Quote, testimonial if available. And you're probably thinking, oh, nobody said anything about me. Bullshit. Go to your comments page. You've dropped videos. Go and grab a couple of comments. There's plenty of stuff for you to grab. It doesn't need to be fucking Rolling Stone said, I think Gary Hubbs is amazing by Rolling Stone. Because it's not true. It didn't happen yet. All right. So go and find testimonials are just comments, are just things that people have said. And I'm sure if you troll through for 10 minutes through a bunch of video clips, you're going to find a bunch of comments that are nice and not specific and not like, hey, I've known you for 10 years and your song's really great. No, that's not, that's not what you want. But there's enough things in there and you can put the name as a user. If you don't have this kind of stuff, that's the way you start. That's the way you build things. It looks good, and it's not like you need, a whole page full of testimonials. Just 1 or 2 will be absolutely fucking fine. Music. Of course, you're going to need music. And amazingly, we live in times where we have Spotify links, Apple Music links, Bandcamp links. Easy to grab. Direct to your song, direct to a page where your songs are. You've got so many ways to put all your information in one link, with Linktree and things like that. Highlight tracks or latest release, yes. Make sure the latest thing is happening. Put it on there. And this is why I say go back, update, and adjust as time goes on. Embed streaming widgets, QR codes. You can do that. You can take screenshots of QR codes. You see it here on the show. I put QR codes on the screen. They work. They get people to click. Remember, this is going to turn out, if it's once you save it, as a PDF, clickable links, interactive. Yeah. You can even really, if you want to go crazy, I've seen some EPKs out there of bands that have pretty much turned it into a multimedia PDF where things work, things move around. I'm not good enough to do that shit, but it is what it is. Video media, YouTube, music videos, performance links, teaser clips, behind the scenes footage. It's a clip, maybe, if you want to, you can do that. Not all these things are absolutely 100%. See you later, Prince Prodigal. Not all these things are essential too. You can tailor this to this is just ChatGPT telling you this shit, yeah? Gigs coming up, festivals, notable things that may have happened. And you may think, I got 1,000 subs. That's worthy. That's worthy. As a musician, you guys know how hard it is just as a musician to get people to click on your YouTube channel. It's really, really hard unless you've got something else going on and that kind of stuff. Hey, Zach Thong. It's really hard to get people click on this shit. So, where am I? I got lost. Press recognition, clips, reviews. Oh, so we got shows, supports, upcoming events, and see this stuff here, this notable gigs, tours, this kind of stuff. You don't have to have a section where it's like notable gigs I've played. Incorporate it into your bio. Right? You can incorporate that stuff into your bio and save space for something else. Press recognition, this is where it comes in with any awards you may have won or radio airplay. These things are up to you. You may not have these things. So it's not that, don't take this as the gospel. Oh, I have to have this, I have to have this, I have to have this. No, what you have to have, the most important thing is it has to reflect you, right? It has to reflect Now remember, we've done shows here on branding. If you want to go back and watch those shows, I can't remember what they're called, if they were rants or whatever, but we have done several shows on branding, on color palettes, picking color palettes that go across the board of all of your marketing. The thing that, so your YouTube channel, you want an example? Gary Hubbs, I'm going to give you that. Go and check out all the stuff Gary Hubbs does. This guy is a machine. Why is he a machine? Well, he works in printing and he knows the business. So all of his logos and everything all match up. I can prove it to you right now. Let's do it. So we're going to come over here. Gary Hubbs. Sorry, Gary, I'm using you today. I'm using and abusing my friend Gary Hubbs. Here's his YouTube channel. He's got his logo, which there's no way you're going to see this logo and go, I don't know who that is, right? It's Gary Hubbs. His logo's one of a million. If anybody tries to copy it, you're going to see it straight away and go, that person copied Gary Hubbs' logo. Look at all these merch. The logo's everywhere. The truck's got it on there. Video clips have it everywhere. It's unmistakable. If I bounce over here, jump into my browser again and type in Gary Hubbs, if I can even spell. And you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, that looks like a ZZ Top logo. Well, here's the thing. See, he took that whole ZZ Top aesthetic and he kind of repurpose it to make it something else, which at the same time is not copying, repurposing and showing, hey, these are my roots. This is something that I like. I've turned it into my own thing. Clever stuff. Because a lot of people are going to think, oh, that's kind of like ZZ Top. But then if somebody else copies Gary, then it's a wink. So if I come in here, Bandcamp, and if we jump over to Gary's Bandcamp, again, that branding is going to carry across. Look, it carries across everywhere. So you're going to want to make sure that this EPK that you're creating is going to match the branding, match the colors. What are the colors? You can see the colors in Gary's thing here. Bang, that's what it would be. So very important stuff. Branding, super cool because it identifies. And with ChatGPT, interestingly enough, you can do things like create a color palette for your projects, right? So you can open up things like ChatGPT. Let's create a new thing here and say something like, create a color palette for my website. Can I do this right now? Create a color palette for my website using a black, red, and purple. Give me some concepts, and maybe even just come in here and add a photo and say, here's a photo. I've added a photo of my logo for context. Anyway, this isn't, why does my keyboard stop working? Hello? For context. So this isn't the full thing. I would write something, a prompt a lot deeper. But the point is I'm trying to make is it's going to give you a whole bunch of, see these? So it's giving us color palette suggestions with hex numbers and everything. And if you choose a bunch of these colors in here, you can then ask ChatGPT to remember these palettes just by writing. Please remember these color palettes for my future projects, for my brand. And then anytime you go back to ChatGPT and say, I want you to make a thing using my color palettes for my band, it will remember those and bring them if you ask it. So if you ask it to remember this stuff, it will say, yes, I've stored that in my memory. For example, we'll use Brad example. Hello, Javale. Hello, Forest of the Wolf. G'day. For example, I was chatting with Brad one night, and Zach Thong, I think I said hi to you, I can't remember. I was talking to Brad example one night, and I was making images of him, dicking around like I do on ChatGPT, and I said to ChatGPT, tell me, from now on, remember that Brad is a total. And then I was like, oh, hang on a minute. Maybe I shouldn't tell her that, because every time I write Brad example in a ChatGPT request, it's going to say, by the way, Brad is a And I'm like, I don't want that. So I had to go back and say, ChatGPT, please forget that. Brad's not a he's a really nice person. Sometimes. But these are the things you can do with ChatGPT. So what I want to show you now is we'll at least make something here today. We're halfway through the show. I want to thank you all for hanging out with us today. Halfway point of the show, we do this not each and every day, but I run an ad. So you don't get random ads all halfway through the stream. If you want to avoid the ad, you can become a premium subscriber or just skip and come back and we will wait for you. The ad has been won. Yeah, ChatGPT won't ever forget. The perfect, don't say that, the perfect lover never forgets your birthday, ever. All right, so for an example, I'm going to run back through some stuff because we're clearly not going to have time to, and you can see I use ChatGPT a lot for logos and so many things. It's just ridiculous. So Russ, so I wanted to create a blurb for Russ, and I'm just going to show you the process. Remember, you can add things from anywhere, and a great place to add stuff is from YouTube. Why? Because you can go into YouTube. If you didn't know this, you're going to know now. You can go into a video, just say we've got Gary Harbs played live this week. I'm using Gary a lot today, and here's his show, The Parking Lot Warrior. Here he is. Oh, look at him. He's awesome. So, but what you can do is, if I can see, hit more on your YouTube and you've got show transcript. So here is the entire transcript of your video. Everything that was said. So you can then copy all of this and then go and put that. You can drag and copy all this and then go and put this into ChatGPT. See what I'm saying? Now, I did an interview with Russ, and I don't want to really go and, fossick through information to try and find all this stuff about Russ, but I've done several interviews with Russ, so it was very easy for me to just go and find the video, grab the transcript, drag copy, and then paste it all into ChatGPT, giving it a whole bunch of information that Russ talked about on the interview. And so very helpful stuff to throw that in there. Plus, you can get it to do a search for stuff about Russ. And here, this is what I've done. So I started off here by saying, write a blurb about musician Russ8889 and his band, The Delicate Giants. You can find more about Russell on his YouTube channel here. And I put a link in. Look what it gave us. Like, it's unbelievable. And here's the thing. It quotes sources, where it got it from. Russell Mayu, known to his fans as Russ8889, is a creative force behind the Delicate Giants, UK-based band blending laid-back electronic soundscapes and soaring Pink Floyd-style guitar work. Their music has been described as if Pink Floyd and Jean-Michel Jarre had a baby, offering a unique fusion of ambient textures and progressive rock elements. And look where it's got it from. Bandcamp. Right? All this has come from Bandcamp and some YouTube down here. So it quotes its sources, so you know it's getting it from a reputable place. And if not, you can specifically ask for it to get information from sources. And so then I added to this. So it's come back, given me this, all happy. And then I added in the interview I did with Russ. So this whole interview, it's heaps. Like, look how big it is. It's massive. And then it says to me, thanks again for the huge info drop. That was an epic transcript of your live stream with Russ, aka Russ8889. You want to do all this in the one chat. So it's all in the one place. Based on everything you shared, here's a polished press blurb you can use. What? You just added all that in. It even gave me links. Boom, added links at the bottom. Let me know if there's anything else. So I was then also able to grab in more stuff and put it in. Look, most of these things are going to do the exact same thing, chords and guitars. I just use ChatGPT because it's easy. Easy. And you can keep going and redefining this and defining it and adding more things and changing it until you come up with the final solution. And no, I don't mean that. Oh, that was the wrong choice of words, especially in this. Anyway, so even when I put in, so I started a new one here. When I put in that interview, look what it came up with. It said, wow, that was one hell of a show, Jade. A total vibe of nostalgia, grit, inspiration, and a heap. What? How do you know? You can't enjoy things. So I keep whittling it down and adding more and saying things like, can you just make this a little bit different? Can you change this bit here? And eventually we got this. This was our blurb. So this is ready to go. Look how neat and short, and it covers everything, right? Briefly. After surviving a stroke that affected his right side, he reinvented his creative process using an iPad, so it's all that. Featured in the 2025 documentary Disco Dog Tracks. It's not always going to be perfect, but you can come in here and keep messing with this. G'day, Pete Johns, what's going on? So I'm going to copy this, and let's start. Let's start putting together things. So the most important things you're going to need for this is obviously information. And what you've already seen, information is really easy to grab because, well, you've already been putting it out there. You've already been tagging your videos and putting up Bandcamp and putting up posts on Facebook. This stuff is there to go and source out and find and put this all together. So that should be less of a problem. You don't have to write about yourself. AI will do it for you. And you can go, you know what? What's better about this too, I think, is that when you do this and get like a blurb written back about you, it's kind of nice going, really? That's kind of nice. I like that. And, you know, you even says, ChatGPT doesn't know who I am. But that is not true because you have a channel and you've got to search for things. You've got to use it to search for things. Go and search your channel. Tell it to search through your videos. Search through your videos about what content you make. That's the beginning, right? You've got to let ChatGPT get to know you. Like some of the stuff, like behind the scenes, to really get a lot out of ChatGPT, yeah, you really have to get into the settings and really fuck around a bit. Very, very much so. So in here, upgrade. I'm already on ChatGPT Plus. All right. So in personalization, you can actually come in here to ChatGPT and type how you want ChatGPT to be and how you want ChatGPT to know you. You can put links in to where all your stuff is. You can say, I'm into music, I'm transgender, I have glasses, I have blue eyes, look at this stuff I've even put. I've got a labret piercing, I've got a septum piercing, I've got blue eyes, I've got dreadlocks, these are my pronouns. You can put this information in to save you a lot of time when you're generating images and stuff because it has an idea of who you are and it gets to know who you are from. There's another setting in here too you can actually set up where every single thing you put in, here we go. So it says here, referenced saved memories, right? So these chats that we do, these are memories. And so it can reference this stuff. So you can say, hey, make an image of me going off all of the other images that you've made of me. And it will know this if you have things like this turned on. Anyway, we're getting off the thing here. That sucked. Anyway, so what we're going to do is jump over to pages. So we've already got our text. This was my shitty thing here that you saw. Let's bounce out of here. Let's create a brand new one. So just start writing. Now, most people will have used things like Microsoft Word. So you'll be kind of sort of in the right place to understand how this works. It's a blank page. Yeah, it's a blank page with a cursor ready to type. You've got a toolbar down the bottom with things like bold and italic and the size of your lettering. All this stuff, most of us have dealt with some kind of word processing in the past. The difference is with pages is Apple, being Apple, like to keep things hidden away and nice and clean. Look how clean it is. Well, this top toolbar is your best friend, absolutely. You're going to want to get to know some of the things up here. You want to insert an image, bang, video, image playground. If you're on newer models that have AI, the shitty AI that's with Apple at the moment, in here they've actually added image playground. So you can make an emoji of yourself very quickly or make an image of something without even leaving pages. It's getting ridiculous now, the way you're not having to even leave an app to go do something else. You've got videos, record audio, camera, all this kind of stuff. And here's another important one you're really going to need, you're going to use a lot. And you're probably thinking, why would I use Shapes? Well, Shapes has this wonderful little thing in here called text. This is a text box. And when you create a text box, well, guess what? You can place a text box anywhere. And we'll get back into that. But when you open Pages for the first time, one of the most important things you're going to want to do to help you is get to know your settings. And see this, you've got Find, Smart, Annotation, a whole bunch of stuff here. See this thing here? A lot of the time this will be turned on and people will not be able to do a lot of stuff. Screen View. Turn this off. Trust me. And I do believe there's a setting here to turn it off permanently so it doesn't. This allows you to move photos around and change the size of them. If you've got that turned on, it hinders a lot. But again, in the settings, we've got presenter mode, which is going to show you a outside version of what you're making here. You've got a whole bunch of settings in here with edge guides and centering. Now, this is, as I said, not a full tutorial of Pages. It's nowhere near enough time to do that. But even just these two things up here, you're going to get a lot of use out of. This is inserting text and inserting your images and such. First things first, we want a cursor when we want to create a title. And this stuff doesn't need to be super, super crazy. The paintbrush up the top here is your friend. It has all of the stuff like body of text, font sizes, text colors, paragraph adjustments, where it's going to, your page adjustments, bullets and lists, line spacing, all the stuff you may have seen before over the years of even just creating a CV for yourself. So I want to choose, because we're doing a heading or a title. You can choose whatever. I'm going to choose a title. And I can just come over here. You can see that that's changed size now. We can bounce out of here. And then from your title, you can actually go in here and change the size of this, right? So notice what happens when I make this a little bit bigger to 36. This title now says update. So if I click update and go back here, this title now that is in here, these paragraph styles that I'm given, every time I click that now, it's going to be 38. So you can save these styles for yourself as well. So here we are. We want to do Russ 88, 89. If I can spell it right. That's not right. We want it in the center. Let's hit it in the center. There we go. And we can update this if we want. So every time we do this title, it's going to be in the center. We can underline it, put strokes, do all that stuff. Now notice that, and nothing happened there. That's because I'm not selected. There's two ways to do things like adding, style preferences. Do it before you write shit in, or do it after by selecting and then changing. So if you've already got the text in, you'll need to select it before you can do things like italic and add all these things and change the size. It's just a thing. Or you set it up before. All right, so there's our little title. That's good to go. Or we want to put in this text. Text box. This is where it's going to get fun. You can come up here, choose your shapes, hit text, and here's our text box. Now I can grab this and I can drag it wherever I want. I should be able to drag it wherever I want. Why can't I? Hang on, let's undo that. Let's go here. There we go. And there we'll put our thingy in here. Text box. There we've got a text box. And I can move this shit wherever I want. We've already got the text for Russ's little intro. Paste. Oops, I pasted it up there. I hate doing that in my search bar. There we go. Now there's a plus here, and I can drag this, I can click on it, and I can reshape this, I can move it, I can stretch this down, change the text, right? So I can zoom out from our page, we can bring our text down here, we can make it wider across, whatever you want. Then we can come into our text and we can change the text as well. So again, I've already pasted this in, so I'm going to need to select it all. Boop. Come up here, and what can we do now? Well, we can change things like the font. And if you've got your own fonts installed like I have, there we go. We'll choose Liberator. So there we've changed our font. We can come in and change the size if we want, make it a little bit bigger. And we're starting to build the beginning of a paragraph here. And we can reshape it. So it's going to move around as you want. And this gives us the opportunity to put in photos and stuff. So now I could come in and say, well, let's add a photo and video. And I'm pretty sure, did I not save it? I did. I've got Russ's logo right here. So here's Russ's logo. And I can start to move this around and put it where I want. And you'll notice it starts to dance around the text just on whatever the size of this is, I can come and even put this in here and really start to make the text wrap around this. And you can get super creative. You can bring this out, put it in. You see how that went in the middle there? Yeah? So you can do a whole lot of stuff and separate all your sections. So we could even just have that bit of text there. We could grab Russ's photo and move it to the... So you can do all this, yeah? Let's just take Russ's photo, see if we can drag it out, move it all around. So this is just, again, a very basic understanding. And then you could come in here, create a new... Let's just put our cursor here, come in, create a new text box. And here's our new text box where we can drag around and start putting in whatever we want. So testimonials. Oops, undo. Testimonials. So you could put in that. Testimonials. Can't even spell it. And even little things like this, people don't realize. And you could do this in the notes pad. If you put a dash before something and then write in, quote, loved the music. Right. Love the music, and quote, and hit enter, you're going to get another dash. You're creating your own bullet points straight up. Super cool stuff, whatever. All right, examples. And you're going to keep getting these bullet points. Delete it, and they're kind of gone. You can come in here, stylize this to be a completely different font if you want. That's completely up to you. You know, we've got this Death Star font here. So you can see how easy this is to build shit around. And then once you're done and you've got all this put together, just kill that. Zoom out, get a look at it. Up the top here, you can click on this eyeball and it gives you a look at the entire project for you to see, and zoom back out. So yeah, exactly what Leela says. Pages is very, very deep. People write books with this. You can add word counts down the bottom. Characters. See this? I can click on this and say I want words. So you can. It's basically Word on your iOS device. Yeah, very powerful stuff. And at the moment, it's in edit mode, and you can see it's not in edit mode, right? So I can't change anything. I can click and drag, but I can't change anything. Hit edit mode up the top, and now we can come and do whatever we want. Here's the thing. So adding links is super easy as well. So let's lastly, while we're here, quickly add in another text box. I know we're all over the place with this, but we can come in and add hyperlinks to text, right? So just like you would in Word, or you can just do a link. So let's do a HF. God, I hate it when it does that. Come back here. HTTPS. Jade Starr.com.au and hit enter, and it is done. So now when I go and look at this page view, that's a link. That's a hyperlink. So when I save this now, and I'm going to jump ahead because we only got 7 minutes, right? I'm just trying to help you today get inspired to jump over that fear of making an EPK. Very handy to have. And I'm telling you, it's handy to have just have, yeah? Because you never know what's around the corner. Yeah, one of my friends that's inspired this today has had recently a big kind of label reach out and say, we need an EPK. And he's now going, what the fuck is that? What? I go, huh? These things are handy. You don't know what's around the corner, yeah? So, but once you've made your thing, and, you know, this is terrible, of course, you're going to come over here. You've got this little thing for exporting, and you will see export and send. So you can actually, look, there's so much you can do. If you've got an Apple Pencil as well, you can write stuff, handwriting. It's limitless. But here, I'm going to export and send. Export and send, and this allows me to create a PDF. And now I can save this in like my documents folder. And there we go. Here's my EPK. And when I tap, hopefully, on this, it takes you straight to my website. And that's where you're going to put in links to your songs and stuff like that. So it's all in one simple page. It's got all this info. It's got links to your music. Very simple. And it has the same color palette as your website or your YouTube channel or your Bandcamp that you're using. And it looks fucking neat. And people are just, It's just easy for them to get information and not be overloaded. Remember, you don't need to tell everybody everything you ate for dinner last night. I know. Sometimes you think that it's like, but I want to get as much information as possible. Sometimes it's best not to over-explain. Don't over-explain. G'day, Tremor Bear. All right, I think we're covered for today. Let me tell you what's going on. Hopefully this has inspired you to have a bit more confidence to make this kind of stuff. If you use Windows, use Word. It's a good idea to collect some photos. Yeah, beforehand, go and collect some photos. Look at some photos of yourself or something playing or something. Go and find some things, mess about with them, remove the backgrounds from them, create transparent images. You don't need a lot. As you can see, you really don't need a lot. Don't overload the thing with photos. A couple of photos are going to be fine. A couple of photos. A couple of links to your music. A link to your website. That's enough. That's enough. Here's the thing. The most important thing. Leave something to the imagination of the person who's reading it. It just needs to be enough to get them to go, I want to click that link. Right? So sometimes when you give away too much, they're not going to click on it because it's an overload. We live in a world these days where people fucking panic over making toast. I don't want to get out of bed and make toast. I'd rather stay in bed. We're an anxious society these days. We're all over the place. We've got bombs dropping everywhere. Everyone's freaking the shit out. It's hard. It's hard to write about yourself. And even people who are going to be reading these EPKs, you don't know what's going on in their life. Right? They may be sniffing coke and telling you they're the best record producer in the world, and privately their fucking whole life's falling apart and they can barely get out of bed each day. So reading an EPK for them that's really fucking 8 pages is going to be like, I don't want to read that. That's way too much. Most of us are going through the same shit, if you didn't realize. No matter what color we are, no matter who we fuck, we're all going through the same shit. So keep it short, simple, keep it sweet, keep it easy. Don't stress yourself, but have it in the background. It's worth your while. All right. We got some great apps coming up this week on the show. They're not up yet. They will be up soon on the channel. I think we're doing something like this. Drift, free sound pack for Soundbox. I think we're doing Battalion this week. I think we're doing Midology. There's another one we're doing too. Oh, this week's opening hour is going to be a Pearl Jam tribute. And there's another thing I haven't finished. So lots of cool stuff that's coming up. Pete's got YML happening right now. Thomas has just smashed the link in there if you want to go over. He's playing your music live that you send in. Awesome. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll have the shows up for this week, what we're doing. Good luck with that. I'm going to go out by playing this. Let's just do this quickly. I'm not going to play the whole song. There we go. We'll just play a bit of it. So these guys dropped this brand new track yesterday. It is the Chandler Brothers. They're awesome. Let's play a little bit of this track and I'll get out of here and dump you over at Pete's. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Hit the like on the way out. If you're watching on the replay, hello, subscribe. It doesn't cost nothing. Let's do this. This is the Chandler Brothers with Memories on the Mountain. Boom.
That I decided to go on my own. Thought it would be nice to go to the mountains and start a new home. My father gave me a piece of land that I could call my own. He said, son, just put it together. I'll be there to help you soon.